Hello and welcome to our presentation on Gifford Beale's A Puff of Smoke. We will be talking about Beale's history as a painter, his influences, as well as the context behind the work and the setting at the time. A Puff of Smoke is based on the urban environment in Newburgh, New York, along the Hudson River. Beale incorporates telephone poles and people in working class attire to demonstrate the working class nature of this community. So when Beale painted The Puff of Smoke in 1912, the city of Newburgh was undergoing an industrial growth and boom. Newburgh became a hub of all sorts of manufacturing, all of which required rail travel. Along with Newburgh, the whole of the United States was experiencing industrial expansion in the early 20th century. This dynamic change of the United States was of particular interest to Beale, who was primarily a natural landscape painter, but because he observed this change, this setting in Newburgh became this painting of his. So the faces of the people he depicted are blurred out, creating ambiguity in their identities. He was heavily influenced early in his career by the American Impressionist William Merritt Chase. Beale studied under Chase from 1892 to 1901, and The Puff of Smoke was painted in 1912 and thus represents a transition stage in Beale's career from the teachings of Impressionism by Chase to a more realistic approach he adopted later in his career. By comparing The Puff of Smoke to another notable Impressionist painting series that depicts trains, which is the Gare Saint-Lazare by Monet, the similarities and differences in style are more clear between the most traditional French Impressionists and Beale's hybrid form between American Impressionism, which is just a offshoot of French Impressionism, and then the more realistic approach of this landscape.
Gifford Beale was born in 1879 in New York City. He attended Princeton University and went on to study under the American Impressionist William Merritt Chase. By 1908, he was accepted into the National Academy of Design, a great honor for any artist, especially someone as young as Beale. Beale only made one trip to Europe in his early painting days, so he was influenced primarily by American art. Beale was incredibly dedicated to depicting the effect of light upon color. Thus, sunlight was key to Beale's depiction of natural scenes. While this idea is very similar to one of the key tenets of French Impressionism, Beale still tried to avoid foreign influences. While he adored Paris, Beale very deliberately avoided any travel to the city. Instead, Beale developed his own style that was loosely based on Impressionism, as we discussed earlier. Trips to Caribbean islands impressed him greatly and created a love in him for painting natural landscapes. Beale's work is indicative of the American art movement as a whole during the late 19th century to the early 20th century. The American movement, influenced by Impressionism from Europe, shifted to a more realistic and distinctive style. The Puff of Smoke represents this transition, a hybrid of foreign, stylistic elements and different techniques.